Good evening. It is Tuesday, February 13th, and it is 6:46 in the evening, and I'm about to get started. Today we're going to mix it up a little bit, do something a little bit out of the ordinary for me, mainly because I'm a little ahead of schedule on my earnings for the month, so I figured we're going to try something out of the ordinary, and we're going to do auto accept on rides. So what I've done is I've set up here in Maximo my parameters, and actually I'm going to make another adjustment to the Lyft parameters. So I'm going to go down here to the bottom to on the upfront earnings, I'm going to require at minimum let's go with $5. That way I can not have the little $2.50 for a 1 mile ride that comes in. Make them work a little harder for that. Everything else is pretty much the same. What I did do is I set the distance. I dropped the distance to pick up to 4 miles, and the total distance of the ride can be no more than 19. So anything over 19 will get rejected or unaccepted automatically. So auto accept is on, no long trips. Everything else here is pretty much matches what's up above. And I did that same thing for the comfort, and the only thing I need to do is do the upfront earnings. I'm going to say this is going to be $5 as well. Update. And then on Uber, I did set the same parameters as far as the mileage to the first stop and the total distance at 19. Left the dollar per mile at $1.75 for all three platforms: Uber X, Comfort, and Green. So all that will remain the same. I didn't set an upfront on Uber only because I think like the cheapest ride I usually get out of Uber is like $4.10 for a little short hop here in town down on the grid. But with the auto accept, I'm not putting any geographic limitations with the Para app. I'm not going to run Para. I'm just going to run Maximo tonight with no other restrictions except for the mileage and the dollar values that I have put in here. So with that, I will go over here. We're going to go to Mile IQ, and we're going to get rid of all of these rides that are in here because those aren't important. And we're going to leave that the way that is. And then we're going to come over here. And again, we're going to be running both platforms tonight. So I'm going to say go online. It's going to open it up. And we are set. We are good to go. So it's going to be a wait game now. Right now tonight, not much going on in Sacramento. There's no game, no real concerts that I know of. Maybe some club stuff, but I doubt it. So it's kind of a boring Tuesday night here in town. So we'll see how this works out. This is kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to try this as well. Just to kind of see what happens on a night like tonight where there's really nothing going on. Just see where the rides take me, and it's really to see if I stay busy, consistently busy with these parameters, just to kind of see how this plays out. So with that, I will update as we go along. As the rides come in, I'll provide some updates, and we'll see how this plays out. Stay tuned. Oh, see, there's one. See, that got rejected right away because it was $1.58 per mile, and that's the kind of crap I'm trying to get rid of with this, so we don't have those cheap rides, especially from Lyft. All right, as I said, we will see how this plays out. All right, got the first ride of the night, and we are off. Gonna go pick up Amy. I'll show you all the rejections here in a minute of the rides that didn't make the cut. To get to this point, a lot of Lyft rides rejected, and there's some interesting how a 3.7 mile ride would cost one rate, and the same distance would cost a lesser rate to go the same thing for Lyft, which is one of the reasons why I don't like to drive for do rides for Lyft because they just don't pay. It's so low, it's ridiculous. Anyway, we're gonna go pick up Amy here, and I will check back in a little bit. Hopefully this is the start of something good for tonight. So see you in a little bit. All right, a quick little update. It's pretty slow tonight. Nothing spectacular to rave about. Done a handful of rides so far, but I just wanted to show how many Lyft rides are getting kicked out. Even if I had lowered the rate, the dollar per mile down to $1.75, which I'm running on Uber, all of these rides here would still be kicked out. That's one I just recently did, and you can see the auto accept. The nice thing about Maximo is it will accept the, it automatically accepts the ride when it meets the criteria, like it did on that one. But here's another Lyft one, $1.32, $1.08, 81 cents. I mean, if you went just straight dollar value, yeah, it's a $10 ride, but I mean, it's paying nothing for the amount of miles that you're having to drive to get it. Here's another one for $1.23, $1.19. I did that one, auto accepted it. Here's another Lyft one, $2.10. This one was a $2.10. Again, that would have been accepted, but look at the offer overall, $2.32 for that to drive 1.1 miles. That's horrible. When you compare something that Uber pays for that, Uber pays more for that short ride on a minimum than Lyft does. Speaking of which, like this, here's a 1.7 mile ride from Uber, and it's $4.10. It's damn near twice as much as what Lyft would pay. All right, I'm gonna go do this ride, and we'll check back here in a little bit. All right, so back to what I was saying. Here's a great example of why Lyft kind of sucks ass. 4.5 mile ride. It's $1.11 per mile for 501. I just did that Uber ride for 1.7 miles at $2.41 a mile at $4.10. I mean, and the time that it took me to do it was nothing. I mean, here's another one. $7 to go, 8.9 miles. Yeah, no thank you. It's Lyft. Lyft is a kind of a joke. They don't even compete pay-wise to Uber. And I'm getting pings like this all the time. I mean, this is pretty close. If I was to take this with the Uber side, actually, you know what? Let's see. No, because that's going back across the river into West Sac, and I don't want to go over there. So forget that. But I mean, it's just, it doesn't even compare when it comes to pay between the two here in Sacramento. I know in other markets it's probably the other way around, where Lyft probably does pay more, but here they're just not competitive from a driver perspective when it comes to pay. I don't know how drivers can drive solely on Lyft and make any money whatsoever when you're getting these puny little rides for a couple bucks, compared to what Uber is going to pay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to turn Lyft off in the app. Just because it's just not worth it. I mean, I think I've only gotten 2 rides now that meet the same dollar threshold that I have with Uber. Everything else is this kind of stuff. 67 cents a mile? No thanks. Not a chance. I mean, here's $1.22, $1.32, $1.08, 81 cents, $1.23, $1.19. I mean, this is why I'm not doing it. Now, here's one. Granted, again, I showed this one earlier, $2.10 for 1.1, but $2.32. Remember, I just did an Uber ride for basically the same distance, maybe a little bit more, and it paid almost twice as much. So why? Why would I even consider it? Here's one for 1.2 miles, $1.85 for $2.22. Here's another one. Yeah, no. no thanks. It's not worth it. I mean, they want me to drive all the way out to West Sac, which is 5.6 miles away to do that. Yeah, nope, not interested. So let's turn them off. We'll just stick with Uber tonight like normal. I tried to give them a chance, but it ain't gonna work out for them. So we turn them off, and we'll just stick with Uber tonight and see what happens. All right, that's where we're at. I'm gonna hold tight here, and hopefully something comes in. We'll see what happens. All right, I'll check back later. All right, a quick update. Been kind of slow, but somewhat consistent. Nothing fantastic, but chugging along here. It's 11:15, and I think this night's just about over. I'm gonna give it, I don't know, a couple more minutes, maybe 15 more minutes, and see what kind of rides I get in that time frame, and then start heading home. And then once I get there, I'll give an update to close out this night. So far, this experiment with the way the rides have been set up, the screening has been pretty decent. Not too bad. I can show some of the cancellations here. Hold on a second. So, you know, oh, there we go. All right, we got a ride. I'm gonna do this and we'll come back. All right, back in the garage, wrapping it up for the night. Again, as I was saying, it was kind of slow but consistent, not going gangbusters or anything like that. But I think the plan kind of worked out with the auto accept feature of Maximo. You know, it was kicking out the rides that didn't meet the qualifications and accepting the ones that did, and it was kept me moving. Anyway, let's see what we did for the night. Whoops. 110, not a little short of the goal. Missed it by $13 or something like that, but that's okay. Again, I really wasn't planning on driving tonight, and it looks like this week I'll be back out on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, so 3 big days. Should be good, at least better than tonight. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, that's gonna do a wrap for tonight. Again, I'm gonna put out some videos about the Maximo app and the Para app, and probably start doing a little more talking about driving a Tesla Model Y for Uber and how that works out, and just some of the efficiencies of the car and stuff like that. Try to include a little bit more conversation about that. So we'll see. All right, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, as always. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon.